Hello and welcome to Views on News. I'm Jawad. Tehami. Pakistan and Turkey have agreed to strengthen bilateral cooperation in multiple fields, besides reiterating the efforts to achieve the goal of bringing in $5 billion in bilateral trade. Turkish President, His Excellency Mr. Recep Tayyip Erdogan, is here in Pakistan on a two-day official visit on the invitation of Prime Minister Sheikh Sharif. Both the leaders had a bilateral meeting, co-chaired the 7th session of the Pakistan-Turkey High-Level Strategic Cooperation Council, and also addressed Pakistan-Turkey Business and Investment Forum. During this particular significant and important visit, both the sides have signed 24 agreements and memoranda of understanding. Both Prime Minister Sheikh Sharif and President Recep Tayyip Erdogan addressed a joint press stakeout as well. For his part, Prime Minister Sheikh Sharif said, let me quote, both the sides discussed a range of issues, including trade, strategic and defense cooperation, and signed accords for multiple cooperation, including for a special economic zone. The Prime Minister also said bilateral relations were not carved out after Pakistan's independence, but went back centuries. Prime Minister also added, Turkey has stood by Pakistan through thick and thin. Turkey always stood by Pakistan for the just cause of Kashmir. The Prime Minister also assured the Turkish investors and business leaders for the facilitation as soon as they engage in Pakistan. For his part, President Recep Tayyip Erdogan said the High-Level Strategic Cooperation Council was a highest-level mechanism to institutionalize the centuries-old friendship. Turkish investors will be encouraged to engage more in Pakistan and develop flagship projects. Both the sides had agreed to continue efforts to reach the goal of $5 billion trade. Both the leaders also observed that military dialogue and cooperation in defense sector had grown trade and investment relations. Earlier, President Recep Tayyip Erdogan was warmly received and welcomed during all the activities engagements throughout the day. He was also greeted by Chief of Army Staff General Syed Munir to talk about various aspects and all-encompassing visit of President Recep Tayyip Erdogan to Pakistan. We are honored to be joined by an esteemed panel of guests today in the studio. Mr. Qiaser Sheikh, Federal Minister for Maritime Affairs. Mr. Sheikh, thank you very much for your time, for being with us on the show tonight. We really appreciate that. Also in the studio, we are honored to be joined by Mr. Zamir Awan, Foreign Affairs expert. Mr. Awan, thank you very much for your time also, for being with us on the show tonight. Really appreciate that. In the studio, we are honored to be joined by Mr. Almas, Haider Naqvi, Foreign Affairs expert. Mr. Naqvi, thank you very much for your time also, for being with us on the show tonight. Really appreciate that. Mr. Sheikh, how had this entire day been? Quite an all-encompassing, very eventful, many happenings happened today, and from that very particular bilateral meeting between the two leaders, both co-hosted the 7th session of the High-Level Strategic Cooperation Council as well, and also addressed the Business and Investment Forum of Pakistan and Turkey. How the entire day had been today?
Yes, it was a very busy day of the delegation. And they had 3 countries visit, Indonesia, Malaysia and Pakistan. So as you know that we have a very close relation with Turkey, and so this discussion was very fruitful. That was on business and investment, and that of defense and education. So all sectors were covered during the discussion, a day-long discussion. There was a reception arranged by Prime Minister Sheikh Sharif at the Prime Minister House, and then after that there was a meeting in the President House, and now the banquet was arranged by Honorable President of Pakistan, Mr. Asif Ali Zardari. So the whole day was eventful and full of discussion, and Turkey and Pakistan of having cordial and very good relation, and also in relation to the D8 of Muslim countries. That was the discussion was to have concessional agreements between exchange of trade, and 5 billion trade is envisaged for the next years. It is a very welcoming And Pakistan you see, Turkey export is about 10 times to Pakistan. Their export is about 300, more than 300 billion, and ours is 32 billion. So I think there's a great opportunity of having both import and export to Turkey. So foreign trade, and also in defense sector. We have a lot of collaboration between them already. And I was just sitting with the Secretary Defense of Turkey at this state banquet arranged by Asif al-Zardari, and they have huge production of defense and export of that, the defense equipments and products. So Pakistan can always get benefit because relations are cordial, and already in all these sectors, in development and in education and in defense. So I think we should have a continued dialogue between our two friendly countries, and those MOUs which are signed, I think that will be implemented very soon. And things.
Of course, the Prime Minister said that these should be converted from paper to action.
Yes.
All those MOUs.
So we expect that this business of 5 billion trade will be materialized soon, and with the continued efforts of both of our countries.
Right, Mr. Awan, Prime Minister has alluded to the fact that this particular bilateral relationship between Pakistan and Turkey did not carve out of the independence, but actually went back centuries. Also, a similar sort of sentiments expressed by President Mr. Recep Tayyip Erdogan also, that this, which also mention of this particular relationship being centuries old. Could you shed a little bit of light regarding the historic significance, that very strength history gives to this particular relationship?
Well, the relationship between Turkey and Pakistan are very unique, because this relation existed before the creation of Pakistan. Pakistan was created in 1947, but before that, during the Khilafat movement, the people of this area, which belong to Pakistan now, or India, or the subcontinent, has supported the Khilafat movement, and people has donated, even that the women has donated their gold and the jewelry and ornaments for the Khilafat movement. So we have the relation even to the creation, before the creation of Pakistan. These are the very unique relation. I have been to Turkey a few times, and I hope that every Pakistani should go and visit Turkey and then experience this, the nature of and the depth of this friendship, the sweetness of this friendship. I'm very happy I have been there and I experienced the friendship. However, we have many convergence of interest. Both are the Muslim country, both are the developing countries, and both are moderate Muslim countries. And we have the similar problems. Turkey has been facing a lot of terrorism in 1970s and 80s and like this, and has been gone through many political reform, democracy, dictatorship, military rule, and all these things, and they have learned lesson from their experiences. Pakistan has been also facing the similar situation. So we have many things in common. Pakistan is much bigger in population than the Turkey. Almost we have 3 times bigger population than Turkey. We are big market. We have huge human resource, and we are also rich in the natural resources and the technology. Especially Pakistan is a unique Muslim country, having the nuclear, is become the nuclear power. So we have potential to assist or help Turkey. But in many other ways, Turkey has much bigger broad base of industry and export. Turkey's export are much more than the Pakistan, and especially their relationship with the Europe, or their experience with the Europe. They have ruled the Eastern Europe in the past, so they know how to handle the Europe and how to access the European market. So we have a lot of chance to learn from the Turkey. With this visit, after signing so many MOUs, I think the Pakistan has the opportunity to improve its industrial base, its quality of its product and exploit the potential of exports. So this will be win-win situation between Turkey and the Pakistan.
Right, Mr. Naqvi, when we specifically talk about this highest level mechanism, which has been mentioned as such by President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, now this particular high-level strategic cooperation council, how this particular council is being adding to this particular bilateral relationship in the past. This is the seventh session we have seen that was co-hosted by both the leaders after a lull of 5 years. Almost the last session happened back in 2020. Now, the significance regarding it, its historic importance, how it had added into the bilateral relationship between the two countries. What are the future prospects and the potential which lies with that?
Thank you very much, Jawad. As you mentioned, that the higher level strategic council of cooperation between the two countries, I think this is the highest forum existed between Pakistan and Turkey. That is chaired by the summit level, the president and the prime minister. So this is the significance of this platform. This is a structural platform or forum existed between the two countries. Under this council, there are several joint committees, standing committees working under this councils that range from the trade to education, culture, and each and every sphere of the bilateral cooperation that covers. So that committees regularly interact with each others, and they specifically form the agenda for this highest level of engagement. At this point of time, I think, and this visit is very important for the global and regional context as well.
I'll come to that particular point, Mr. Naqvi. A number of very important aspects in that particular regard to be discussed, but later on in the conversation. Sticking around to this particular, the significance of this high-level cooperation council between Pakistan and Turkey. Now, the current bilateral trade volume, and now during today's interactions, both the sides have agreed to enhance this particular bilateral trade volume up to $5 billion.
Yes.
Now, keeping that in view, where do we see that high-level strategic cooperation council playing its role in that particular regard?
I think at this platform, both of the leadership decides how they can play the role, specifically the issues of tariffs. For example, in trade, you have to decide the concessions. In this meeting, especially, both of the sides agreed on this concessions on specific tariffs. So this is the way, and they decided the vision that bilateral trade should be reached to the $5 billion. Up till now, as Awan Sahab also said, that we have political and cultural affinities, but in commercial terms, we have lot to do, and we have lots of potential to explore.
Right, we are also been joined by another participant on Skype, Dr. Jamil Khan, former ambassador. Dr. Khan, thank you very much for being with us on the show tonight. Really appreciate that. How are you looking at this particular and all-encompassing visit? Diverse areas have been discussed, a number of MOUs, 24 MOUs and agreements in diverse fields have been signed between Pakistan and Turkey. What has been the trajectory of this particular bilateral relationship in the recent past? Where do you see this one heading after today's visit in particular?
Every visit of this level, high-level visits, high-level engagement, it raises the trajectory of the relationship, it raises the trajectory of the outcome, it raises the trajectory of all the agreements and MOUs. So in this context, even this time, today, 24 agreements and MOUs signed, it is the continuity of the previous visit in 2020, and afterward the engagement between Turkey and Pakistan. They are trying to reach to that level because our bilateral relation is best of the best, I would say, and it's very historical. It's imbibed in in our culture, religion, and history. So the bilateral relation, how this bilateral relation can be monetized and capitalized into the mutual benefit of the trade, commerce, investment. So that is where the efforts are being made. But more importantly, all these efforts, whatever kind of trade, commerce, or investment is to be envisaged or is being decided through all these agreements and the MOUs. There is also another dimension to it. The current situation, the regional geopolitical situation, a global geopolitical situation, it has its impact on the previous agreements with Turkey and as well as the agreements and the MOUs which is being signed now. Now, energy and mining, yes, we've been working even before. Defense cooperation, we've been having best of the best defense cooperation with Turkey, and also we have been having.
Dr. Khan, I seek your pardon for the interjection over here. I'll have to quickly go for a news break over here. Welcome back to Views on News. In today's program, we are discussing as to the importance and significance of the bilateral visit of the Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan to Pakistan. A short while ago, he arrived at the presidency, warmly received and greeted by President Asif Ali Zardari. A number of issues have been discussed in that particular bilateral meeting as well. Quite an eventful day as far as the overall trajectory of Pakistan-Turkey bilateral relations are concerned. In the studio, we are honored to be joined by Mr. Qiaser Sheikh, Federal Minister for Maritime Affairs, Mr. Zamir Ahmad Awan, and Mr. Almas, Haider Naqvi. Mr. Sheikh, you already mentioned of the defense cooperation between the two countries. Now, in terms of Pakistan learning from the experience of Turkey and also looking forward to have the technology transfer, also looking forward to have the co-production of the industry based products here in Pakistan. What are the potentials lying in that particular regard?
You see, because our relations are very strong and since very long, we are trying to have more and more trade between two friendly countries. But up to now, we could not succeed much because the trade, the products we can offer to Turkey is not, apart from rice, not products which is being imported mainly from Turkey. So there we are just as in latest Udan Pakistan program, we are trying to have a value-added products, and that can be with the joint ventures also from Turkey and also from other nations, and there could be a private sector also. So there is a potential. Of course, the trade of Turkey is about more than $500 billion import and export. They have similar volume of import and that of export. So we can give more emphasis on the export to Turkey. Recently, the technology, we are getting some technology for our industries from Turkey, and a lot of chemicals are being imported and machinery is being imported. And there's I mentioned about defense production. They are very famous in defense production, and our Pakistan Bahri, that is the Navy, got ships from Turkey, built in Turkey, that warships. So that is also very strategic because Pakistan and Turkey have a coordination and cooperation between them. 3 days ago, I was on Navy exercises that various ships from major countries were warships. They were there present in the exercises, about more than 40 countries. And this is the improvement Pakistan is having since last exhibition of exercise 2 years ago. So I feel that in all aspects, there are opportunities there. We should have more coordination. The businessmen should have interaction. There is a single country exhibition mentioned by Turkey, that they will have Pakistan single country exhibition. Pakistani products will be displayed there, and there will be more opportunity that we could make export to Turkey. So I think there's it's a continued process, and we should try to have more coordination. Opportunities there was one time we were thinking to have direct train link from Karachi to Istanbul, and up to now that has not been implemented. But now the airline, Turkish airline, is directly having their flights from Turkey to Pakistan, and these are the aspects we discuss. Various measures how to promote trade, and that will be implemented soon. And our target of 5 billion trade is not very big volume. There is a potential, and I think that with these interactions that their delegation is coming here, and now we are thinking about the special terms of D8 countries, that is Muslim countries, the developing Muslim countries, which can have enhanced cooperation with concessional tariff between our countries. So between Turkey and Pakistan, all these aspects of promotion of trade are discussed and being implemented. It will take time. We have been discussing since long, but we have to make more efforts to implement and to get these targets.
Right. Mr. Minister, when we talk about Prime Minister today also addressing the business and investment forum, now he has also assured the business leaders and the investors from Turkey to engage more over here. There has also been talk on part of President Recep Tayyip Erdogan that the investors from Turkey would be encouraged to engage more in Pakistan. Now this facilitation towards these investors, how do you think Pakistan is going to take steps in that particular direction in order to facilitate more Turkish investors?
You see, we are trying making every effort to make cost of doing business efficient and lower, particularly that of energy cost. We are doing our best, and then you must have seen that recently that interest cost, that is the policy rate of the State Bank, have reduced from 22% to 12%. So these are the measures, and the foreign direct investors are very much being attracted here. And I feel that this is an opportunity by the foreign investor that we could produce efficient and value-added products that could be exported in more volume.
Right, Mr. Awan, when we talk about both the countries supporting each other on the major causes, when we talk about the Kashmir cause of Pakistan, Prime Minister very categorically stated today in his joint press takeout that Turkey stood by Pakistan in the just Kashmir cause of Pakistan. We've also seen Pakistan supporting Turkey as far as the matter of Northern Cyprus is concerned. Both the countries have that very commonality of understanding approach towards the situation in Palestine as well.
Turkey and Pakistan are supporting each other on all core issues, diplomatically and politically. Whenever there is a consensus or voting time in United Nations, Pakistan always support Turkish cause, and Turkey also support the Pakistani cause. The core issue for Pakistan is the Kashmir, and Turkey is always supporting Pakistan. And for Turkey, the Cyprus issue and also Kurdistan and also the collective issues are like Gaza and Palestine. We have the identical approach. So we are supporting each other on all geopolitical, regional and domestic issues each other.
Right, Mr. Naqvi, you already mentioned of this particular bilateral relationship, its importance in terms of regional and the global political realities at this particular point in time. Could you shed a little bit of light regarding that?
Yes, as Ali mentioned that this visit is very much important in couple of aspects, especially at this global level we can see that there is a global transformation is undergoing from the unipolar to the multipolar. Now at this point of time we are living in a multipolar world. So this is the interaction of a regional power in the Middle East and one of the Islamic nuclear power in South Asia. So in the power terms, there is no great power, no single power exists in the world, but different power sectors are emerging and poles are emerging. So this collaboration and cooperation is so much important. And luckily, Pakistan and Turkey share the similar views on as Awan sab mentioned that the as far as the concern is the Middle Eastern crisis, Pakistan and Turkey share the similar views on Palestine and Gaza. And in Syrian context, we have perhaps convergence of the ideas. And then President Erdogan, he is vocal, it's not new. All the time Turkish support Pakistani stance on Kashmir. So I think this cooperation and collaboration and is very much important, but my point is that this political affinity and cultural affection must be translated into the commercial relationship as well, as both of the leadership have decided that that should be go to the $5 billion trade.
What's your understanding bringing achieving that particular target? How that is doable? What are the key sectors or areas that should be actually focused on, where the potential lies?
I think lots of areas we can collaborate, already collaborating with each other. For example, the defense sector, Turkey is collaborating Pakistani authorities on various sectors, especially the drone production, in even the Belgium covert fleet that was jointly produced by Pakistan and Turkish Navy. And then artificial intelligence is could be another area, and then agriculture technology. So these are, and beyond that, there are lots of areas in which we can collaborate with each other. So I think the leadership is committed, and I'm quite optimistic that that in coming years you will see the outcomes as well.
Right, Mr. Minister. Now, terrorism is a menace which has been termed by both the countries as a common enemy. Pakistan has fought a successful war breaking the backbone of terrorism. Previously, we are confronted with this particular challenge once again at home. We've also seen the kind of transformation happening in the Middle East as well. Turkey has been the victim of this particular menace as well. How both the countries can cooperate further in confronting this particular challenge that we are faced with currently in countering it?
As already mentioned, on all international affairs, our policies and our thinking is similar. We are supporting Turkey on their Cyprus and that of Gaza matter, and they are supporting us on Kashmir. And similarly, we have no difference of opinion or conflict between us. And already we have collaboration between our friendly nations, and it can be enhanced further. When the experience each country getting with the confrontation they are having against terrorism. So I think this is already being discussed today in the meeting was all chiefs of Army, Navy and Air Force. They also gathered, and that was the very coordinated effort that both friendly countries should enhance and to get benefit of their experience. And you rightly mentioned that similar conditions have been faced, and also not only in defense sector but also in economy. Both of our countries are facing huge inflation. Rather, Turkey has a much more high rate of inflation. They coped with that, and similarly we are confronting that front of inflation, and inflation is reduced in Pakistan from 22% to 2% recently. So it's similarly in Turkey, and there was a exchange fluctuation at Turkey. Their currency was devalued hugely. Similarly in Pakistan. So we have common ideas and experiences we had, and can get benefit with mutual discussion and understanding.
Right, Mr. Awan. Now, terrorism being the common enemy, Pakistan and Turkey, how both the countries collectively can go about it, and also keeping this particular bilateral relationship in view, how much an impetus this one gives to the overall equation in terms of stability and security in the region.
When I was young teenager in 1970s and 80s, we always listened news that in Istanbul blast happened, in railway station bomb blasted, in the bazaar bomb blasted. So it was a similar thing what we are facing nowadays. Turkey has overcome menace of the terrorism, they have the experience. Pakistan also need to learn and replicate the Turkish experience. Also, terrorism is an international phenomena. Even that the most developed countries in the world, they are also victim of the terrorism. In America, very often they are terrorists with the gun and shooting children and schoolboys and the supermarkets. In Russia, there is attacks on terrorist attacks. In all of the world, it is an international phenomena, and the whole world is a victim of terrorism. We need joint efforts to address this issue. Pakistan alone is not capable to handle 100%. We are doing best efforts to overcome, but still we hope that the international community should unite with us, and collectively we struggle to overcome the terrorism.
What sort of a message does it send to the terrorist organizations and militant outfits when countries like Pakistan and Turkey join hands?
Yes, we are committed to fight against terrorism. We are committed to suppress the terrorism. We have to address the terrorism through diplomatic way, political way, and by force also.
Mr. Naqvi, what's your understanding? When these countries join hand, and especially given their peculiar, very particular position in terms of geographical locations in the respective regions, both terming this particular menace as a common enemy, when they join hands, what message does it send across?
Jawad, terrorism is a transnational phenomena. It's not confined to the just single country or region. That needs a collective response. And historically, we had an experience of the Istanbul process. I think that should be revived once again. You know, if you remember that during the war and terror, there was an Istanbul process in which the multiple countries are on a stage or on a table to deliberate the processes and counterterrorism strategies. So, in my understanding, that process can also be revived once again to deal with the menace of terrorism.
Mr. Almas, Haider Naqvi, Foreign Affairs expert, thank you very much for being with us on the show tonight. Really appreciate that. Mr. Zamir Awan, Foreign Affairs expert, thank you very much for your time also for being with us on the show tonight. Really appreciate that. With that, we come to the end of today's episode. Till the next one, take good care of yourselves.